Hello and welcome back to Jordy Crafts. Today we are working on a rugged landscape. Our goal today is to build up some natural looking rock formations using a new technique and then covered in realistic grass and moss. This is the first of 2 videos, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 2, where we tidy up the edges, add some shrubbery, and top it all off with a cascading emerald waterfall. Let's do it! I'm sure you've seen this type of rock mold before, and these are a great product, but it can really add up if you get more than a few to add variety. Plus, they're not always the right size or scale for your project. And I don't tend to work in standard scale, so this is an issue for me sometimes. But I've discovered an alternative that I haven't seen used before. Introducing Plasticine! You can get a block of this stuff for a few bucks at your local craft store. Some of the well-known brands are Plasticine, Plastilina, Plastimodel, Clean Clay, and Plasticolor. Warning, this is a lot more expensive online, so get it local if you can. Additionally, Plasticine is sulfur-free, so you can use it for casting silicone. You cannot cast resin in it though, because resin heats up as it cures and it will melt the Plasticine. Definitely not speaking from experience. To make these rocks, you'll need some Plasticine, plaster of Paris, and rocks. Hear me out. First, grab some Plasticine and smush it into a flat shape. Then, press some rocks into the Plasticine to build out the shape you want. I recommend digging a hole for your larger rocks to prevent the clay from displacing too much and stretching out your rock pattern. The beauty of this technique is that you can get a unique result each time, and you can make each rock mold to fit your project individually. You can combine rocks or angles as you see fit. You can also make quick molds of other shapes, not just rocks. I used a Tamiya paint pot here to demonstrate. Once you're happy with how things look, you can go ahead and mix up some plaster to pour into your mold. Let your plaster set for a couple hours before you demold it. Ooh, look at all that texture. You can easily just break the flash away. At this point, you can pour more plaster in the mold, you can reset it, or you can just put it away. Not too shabby. Now, I can already hear what you're thinking, but Jordy, why don't you just use the real rocks in your dioramas? And you can certainly do that. I do all the time. But there are a few issues to consider. The first is size. If the rock is too big, it's too big. If I have the perfect rock, but I only want part of it, I can't exactly cut it down to size. The second is customization. Real rocks are inflexible once they've been built into your terrain. If I want to change my landforms after I've built them, I have the freedom to cut, carve, and break these plaster rocks. Real rocks are a lot harder to work with. The last issue is weight. If you're building a diorama of considerable size, like a wargaming table, you can add a lot of weight by using real rocks. This isn't usually a huge issue, but just something to consider. You're still more than welcome to use real rocks. I do all the time. But just some things to think about. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get these bad boys in the diorama. I'm using Sculptamold because I have it on hand, but I'll link some homemade options below. Mix the compound into a thick paste and slather it all over your foam. Next, just push your rocks into the compound and fill in the spaces as you work. I know it doesn't feel like it's sticking very well as you apply it, but it's very secure once it's dry. Alright, it's starting to look like something. Time to move on to the texture paste. There are plenty of ways to make texture paste, this is just what I use. Add some grout, spackle, used coffee grounds, and water into a bowl and then mix it all up. Mine was a little too wet, so I added more grout. I don't measure anything, I just do what my heart tells me. You can add some PVA now, just make sure you don't add the glue before your water or it will go all rubbery. If you're using grout, make sure you wear gloves and a respirator, caustic burns are no joke. Now just slather it on anything that's not a rock. Once it's partially dry, I like to stab it with a chip brush to bring out more texture. This is where I like to use real rocks from outside. I just sprinkle them into the texture paste at the base of the rock faces where they would naturally fall. Okay, things have to get uglier before they get better. Trust me. It's finally time to paint. Water down some yellow ochre, raw sienna, burnt umber, and black acrylic paint. Add the yellow and sienna to the rocks randomly, leaving some white space. After that dries, add some burnt umber over everything. And after that dries, cover the whole thing in black. And we're going to finish it off with a dry brush in an off-white. Alright, now that it looks like something out of Mordor, we can add some life. I'm breaking out the static grass on this one. If you don't have an applicator, you can just replace these sections with medium and fine turf to give it a more mossy look. I start by laying down a thick layer of neat PVA. Then place the ground pin against the glue and voila! Grass! I added the dead grass first to the exposed areas, and then I went in with a top layer of dark green, focusing more on the bottom of the rock face. This gives it more of a natural looking gradient. Then I cleaned away the excess grass with the old stalking over the vacuum technique. Next we'll add some moss to the rock face. Again, I started with neat PVA, then I used a dark green and highlighted the outer side with the burnt grass color. The moss under the waterfall should have a wet algae look, so I mixed up some moss paste with PVA, green fine turf, and a little dash of IPA to make the color bleed a bit. Lastly, I cut up a few pieces of gamer grass and jabbed them in between some of the rocks at the base of the cliff. I want to take this time to thank my early top Patreon supporters, Brent, the Hitman Henneberry, and Elder Scribe, as well as all my other first patrons. You guys are amazing, thank you so much. And the first part of this diorama is done. Plasticine isn't the most convenient thing to use for making rocks, but it does add some versatility and uniqueness to your rock designs at a low cost. Plus, Plasticine has many other great uses in the hobby space. It doesn't go bad or harden, so I think it's good to just keep around. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Is this something you could see yourself using? Be sure to check out my next tutorial where I finish up this piece and add a waterfall. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.